here we are. It's Tuesday night. We're live. It's Mass Comedian X and Big Ace. Good evening, Ace.
Hello.
Oh, my gosh. So we're live tonight across 4 platforms. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Periscope/Twitter. And we're also on Twitch. So if you happen to be watching there, go ahead, let us know. Give us a comment. We would love to hear from you. Please go ahead and subscribe. Our show is awesome. We know it. You know it. We just got to tell people. People got to find out about how awesome our show is. And then they'll watch forever and ever and ever and never turn off. They'll watch. They'll go onto YouTube and tune it in. Tune it in. See, that's how old I am. They'll stream it live. That's what I'm talking about. So if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what platform you're watching on. We'll probably see if we can't figure it out, and we would love to hear your comments. So this weekend has been okay. Not nearly as much wrestling as last week.
No, but next weekend's really ramping up to be a lot of wrestling.
Yes. You got your crown jewel on the Thursday. You got your Smackdown on the Friday. I just was thinking about this. Some of those guys, because no girls are going. Some of the guys are going to have to do that show, hop right on the gosh darn plane, and fly all the way back to Buffalo, New York, to do Smackdown. Jumping catfish, baby.
It is gross.
That's going to be grueling. They're going to be sleeping in the plane, although I'm sure it'll be a nice luxury plane, one that I'm not used to flying in, where they can lay down and enjoy the flight. Air Dubai, probably. Or Air Saudi. Whoever is paying the bill, they're going to be resting.
Right.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a fun turnover.
No, it's a long trip.
And they'd have to leave pretty quickly after that show ends.
Oh yeah, they'll have to get right off and hop on. So anyway, so that's what we got there. I don't know. Are you looking forward to Crown Jewel at all?
Not really. No.
No.
Just because again, I don't know. It's hard to watch those shows, the Saudi Arabia shows. I don't know. It's just hard to watch them. So I tend not to lately.
Yeah.
I haven't caught the last 2 or 3 of them. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch this one just because they're doing a lot of.
Oh yeah, now I'll tell you what. If they did an all-female Smackdown on Friday, that would be fantastic. I think. I honest to God, oh boy, that would fire me up.
Why not? Are they going to even do? Are they doing Evolution ever again? Or is that
no? I heard they weren't doing it this year for whatever reason.
They should give them then. Be like, hey, Raw's yours this week, guys.
It's absolutely ridiculous, but they should. They're absolutely right. They should do that.
Good call.
I'm all for it. My vote is in that. Speaking of, and we'll probably hop around a little bit. My absolute favorite wrestler spit the green mist on Monday, and I saw somebody say I thought it was a little bit funky how the Kabuki Warriors turned on Paige. I didn't exactly understand why they were doing it. I figured they were going to do it at some point, because once the green mist comes out, baby, you're full villain. But I thought it was kind of weird how it all came about. And then when Paige got the mist spit on her or sprayed on her, however, whatever the terminology is for that move, she kind of sold it, but she didn't really. It was like, oh, somebody spilled a drink on me. I kind of figured the green mist, she'd have gone nutso. Like, I'm blind, I can't see, I'm blind, and I would have liked to seen her, like in actual agony, as opposed to
hammed it up.
What?
She really just hammed it up.
Yeah, Oh yeah,
I can't see it. They're like giving her water.
yeah.
I need water. They're like pouring it on the rag.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I
can't.
would.
It's like, all right, just take the rag then, lady. Come on.
But anyway,
My question is, how long do you think? Well, first of all, if this is what they're doing with Kairi-san and Asuka, please give them a new theme song. I don't want to hear the two songs just mash.
no, it's like a mashup. It's a horrible mashup, but
they don't match. That's the thing. They don't.
yeah,
Match. There's a whole different vibe between those songs, and it just,
yeah.
So yeah, they need to do that. And my other question is, do they get another mouthpiece? Because I feel like eventually they're gonna hit a wall if they're never gonna be able to cut an actual promo. It's just yelling. Eventually people are gonna be like, this is getting boring.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what everybody's attention span is nowadays when it comes to storylines and gimmicks. So
that's true.
I thought when I first turned on Raw, which I was like 2 minutes late. So when I turned it on, she was already in the ring, and I was like, what's Paige doing?
Oh yeah.
Why is she there? Well, she was done. Anyways. And then when that whole thing went down, I mean, like you said, it was weird, but I mean, it would have made more sense to actually have them just stay with her. I feel plus it's a way to keep her on the show. She's great on a mic. Everybody loves her. I don't know. It was just, I
got to tell you, Stinky. I mean, it's it's one of the biggest misuses of talent, in my opinion. At least with Asuka, I like Kairi saying she's smaller. I don't get quite the charge out of watching her as I do Asuka. Asuka can go with anybody. I mean, Kairi Sane can too, but Asuka, I mean, you watch. I mean, she's slowing down for some of these girls. But I gotta ask you, Stinky, what do you think of that green mist? God, I love the green mist. Oh, it gives me the tingles.
Anything that's just old school, I know it just makes you pop. So
not always.
So most of it,
a lot of it.
When I feel like I'm never like loud enough. I don't know. I'm sure I'm wrong. Everybody who's watching, like I always like old school though. You know what I mean? Like
way old school.
Yeah, like
hiding the brass knucks in the shorts.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like, because now like people compare the old school for some people now is the Attitude Era. So like old school, you know, like how Austin would. It's like, yeah, I get it, but like, you know, like how you would see like a team, you know, and the Revival has a touch of this, and this is why they have that whole persona. But I mean, you get teams that are like the Brain Busters, you know, like back in the day with Blanchard and Arn Anderson, and it was just those things. The way they would act as a tag team were old school. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Kevin Owens, as he gets heat, has an old school feel to it. Like Piper.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And to me, Mist in face is such an old school wrestling move that like.
So I'll bring this back. I know there is a difference between red mist and green mist, and by the way, the black mist is the worst. But the red mist is more an irritant, from what I'm told, whereas the green mist is more a hallucinogenic. So at least that's what I'm told. I'm not sure. I will say this: you go back to, you talk about old school green mist in the orange mist. I mean, it's orange mist could give you trouble. I think big trouble. But I just think about all of these beautiful. She's Orange Cassidy in it. She gave you a nice segue, Ace, and you blew it.
I was too busy looking at something else. Sorry.
By the way, did you see Orange Cassidy really hurt his hand?
Really?
Did you see? Did you watch Being the Elite this week? Oh, he really hurt his hand. Oh, really hurt his hand.
Actually, I really don't know if I did see the last Elite.
No, we haven't seen the Orange Mist. He
didn't do anything by himself yet. Like he
hasn't done a thing by himself. He was in a match with sort of got involved with the Best Friends and hurt his hand, and then on being the Elite while he was back there getting medical attention, and the EMT was telling him, "You got to take it down a notch," which was hilarious because he was just sitting there and I guess is he asleep? And of course, then he lifts open his glasses and there he is, opened and happy. I loved it. But I will say this about the Mist and going back. So now I don't know if anybody that's watching has watched NWA Power, which is on at 5 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Central Eastern. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's on YouTube. They show it on YouTube. They used the powder. 605. Yes, you're correct. 605. Yes, because that's old school, and I get it. But anyway, point being, they used the powder. And I got to tell you, if you like old school, man, you got to be watching the NWA Power because it's fantastic. I loved it. And now Ace, they're going to have a segment called Ask Camille, or at least they've got a hashtag Ask Camille, which to me, that's one of the funniest parts of the whole thing is the fact that they try to play that Nick Aldis will not let her speak, and she's free to speak whenever she wants to, and yet she's still oh god, it's one of the best things to me, and I like that whole show. Aaron Stevens Mizdow is heavily involved now, and he's good. He's just as entertaining as he was in the WWE. Mr. Anderson is involved. Colt Cabana is heavily involved. James Storm is one of the champions, North American champion, and
then they just have a big show in Minneapolis this last weekend, didn't they?
Was it this weekend?
I believe it was this last Saturday. Yes, because it was them and Ken Anderson's school.
See, you and I we talked about this last week. I wanted to track it down and go see it, and we couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was actually looking up while we were talking. But who knows? I hope they had a good turnout. I love what they're doing. They've got some different characters. They're like old school. Trevor Murdoch, who is Dirty Dick Murdoch's son, I believe, and looks exactly gosh darn like him. Just like a big old hillbilly brute kind of guy, and it just reminds me of old Dirty Dick Murdoch so much. But anyway, that's on NWA Power.
Was it with Lance Cade when he came in the WWE, Trevor Murdoch?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
I remember that. Lance Cade actually did a thing in town when WWE had a house show once. He did a signing at the bar I worked at. So I ended up getting to know Lance Cade pretty well by the end of that night. He was a good guy. He was a nice guy. It was pretty sad. He passed shortly after, like months later, is when he had the heart issues or whatever. I don't remember what the full deal was. There might have been bad things involved. I don't know, but yeah, he passed away. But it was that was interesting. It was like right after he got released from WWE too. Like right after, like week or two after they cut him.
Oh gosh. Sometimes that stuff happens. All right, so let's move a little bit. I'm all over the place because I'm trying to remember everything. I should start taking notes, but I can't do it because then it destroys my enjoyment of the shows. So if I'm sitting there with a notepad trying to write down everything, I can't do it. So let's hop along because another tag team showed up on Monday night that I have missed while she was on her honeymoon. The Iconics were back, and they battled a kind of thrown together for no sort of reason team, I thought. Charlotte and Natalya. Of course, the Iconics they're just hilarious to me. And I think they're always going to be beat, which is fine. But Billy Kay is one of the funniest human beings. I There's something about her that is absolutely hilarious. And even more so if you watch her off of the wrestling shows, like on the up, down, down, hilarious. On some of the YouTube or Twitter periscopes that they've done, absolutely hilarious. So I'm happy to see that they're back, and that'll add to the women that are available for Raw too.
Yeah, they're always gonna be. They're gonna be like what Hawkins and Ryder are now.
Yeah,
they're gonna always be around. I think those two. And they're probably never gonna get a giant push again, which they had a pretty little decent run with those tag team titles. You know what I mean?
Outback, you mean, Stinky? That's I'm sure Outback.
But yeah, it's yeah, they're gonna always be around. That's fine. I like them. But that was really awkward that Natalia and Charlotte or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't understand the pairing, but yeah, whatever. And there were the match between Umberto and AJ. That was a good match. I liked it.
What's the deal? Do they think he's just cool because he looks like a teenager?
I
don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know why, but they're going to push him.
Oh, obviously. I mean, his first match was Seth Rollins, and then he just had AJ Styles. Like,
and
the Viking Warriors are still getting just.
I know the Viking Warriors are just still smashing jobbers
from in the town are coming in to just job out.
A local legend gets cut down by the Viking experience.
And then these kids just getting shot to the moon. Like, why? I don't understand it. I really don't. Yeah, he's good, but again, I don't get it. I've always questioned Vince McMahon and his choicing when he's going down the road of the Latin wrestlers, because sometimes it's good. You get the Mysterio or Eddie.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the original Sin Cara. So
yeah, he didn't need the Power Ranger outfit. Well, what was it? 2 weeks ago, he kind of looked like I don't know what he looked like 2 weeks ago, like a Aztec kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, dimples you could drink out of. Well, we know why you're watching.
True. That's true.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I will say this though. The whole thing between and this is I'm off the track again because I'm scattered. The whole thing with Team Hogan and Team Flair, it's certainly contrived for the crown jewel.
That's very true.
That's an excellent point. Actually, AEW has Jungle. Well, for I'm not a teenager or 20-something young woman, but
you think
I will say shut up, you. I will say that Jungle Boy, from everything that I've heard, it is just like the old school matinee idol. If they had those old magazines that had the David Cassidy and Bobby Sherman, and these are all names that nobody knows, but the beautiful thing is Jungle Boy be on there. Marco Stunt to a lesser degree, only because he's kind of creepy, but Jungle Boy is not creepy. Anyway, point being, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So Team Flair, Team Hogan. Hogan barely said 2 words last night. And Flair,
still trying to just figure out why this is a thing. Who cares?
I know. I'll tell you why it's a thing. Because there's this guy over in Saudi Arabia that's got lots and lots of money. And he decided he would like to, pay the WWE to let him book a show. And so he's laid out what he'd like. And because I have a feeling, because Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan can't actually fight each other. I'm sure that because the first crown jewel, he asked for a dead wrestler to appear.
Dig him up.
So I'm sure that this guy brought Vince McMahon the check and said, I want Hogan and Flair. I want Muhammad Ali and The Rock. But I'm sure that he said he wants Hogan and Flair, and somebody probably said, yeah, with all due respect, sir, they can't wrestle anymore.
I mean, to be honest, though, this does really smell of Vince as well, though. Like,
oh, yeah.
Hogan and then Flair, it's genius.
It's all it is. It's all it is. Oh, that's right. It was Yokozuna that he wanted.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Didn't they just get some like random sumo wrestler to come do that battle royal just because dude wanted to see someone like Yokozuna? Like,
well, they don't want to lie to the man.
So awful. Did I talk about it with you on here, or was it one of the can't keep anything in track anymore on the shows that I have to talk about wrestling on anymore. But like, I feel like Survivor Series has been getting a real big snub.
Oh yeah.
Because of Crown Jewel. Like, I don't care about your freaking Thursday matinee show where it's just a big gimmick, like just a big bowl of just dream match type things. Like, I don't care. Like, that's the other thing too. That's such a Survivor Series move. Team Hogan versus Team Flair. Yeah. And I feel like there's some decent entertainment that could happen on Crown Jewel, and I'm pretty sad that it's getting given away free at Crown Jewel when you have one of the big 4 pay-per-views coming up.
Yeah.
Weeks after. Like, I just don't understand it. It's
the way they're doing it. So, but having said that, the match between Drew McIntyre and Ricochet was fantastic. And Randy Orton coming in at the end, I popped as hard as they did in that audience. I loved it.
Holy roughshod. He was not giving a shit that night.
No, sir. He was
just like, whatever, man. It's my hometown. I don't give a shit.
Now,
I go to the ring now. All right, whatever.
Now, I didn't get to see anything today. I heard as I was listening to Busted Open on Sirius XM Drive It In that Ricochet was a little bit upset by this. I didn't see anything. I didn't have a chance to look at anything.
Wait, by what now?
I mean, it looked like Randy Orton irritated him in some way, shape, or form.
Like they're actually shooting on each other, or
I think so. Well, of course. See, that's a beautiful thing about Randy Orton. He literally
saying like he basically like shoots all the time. He's just I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Because I think the thing about Randy Orton is that he feels like, okay, if you
put an RKO,
let's settle it.
An RKO, you get 2 RKOs.
Yeah, I mean, God, but that was. I mean, from me watching, I felt like, in terms of the wrestling action, Randy Orton's run in to close that match was the biggest pop on Raw, and they even showed the one little girl just squealing, and I thought she squealed with delight for Randy Orton, and she's 6. I thought that's beautiful. That's the way it's supposed to work. Cheer the heel, baby girl.
Right? But you know why though? I mean, I don't know if that's why the little girl obviously was like, I'm sure it was just a surprise because I forget, is he even on Raw or is he on SmackDown now?
I think he's SmackDown. Oh, I can't remember. They did the whole.
I felt like he was SmackDown. So
that's he's on SmackDown. That's right. He's on SmackDown because when they did the 6-man on Friday, they added Cesaro because whoever was missing from I get confused by the whole configuration still. I don't remember where everybody is yet.
I don't either. So
I will say this. I love the fact because he came in and did that, and he and Drew McIntyre were kind of giving each other the eye too, which I like the planting the seeds for that battle. But if they're on different shows, it's not going to make any difference.
Or if even on later down the road, they're on way different shows, because I think that's half the reason he got such a big pop too. Or, well, maybe not. I mean, St. Louis, but I mean, he's getting a lot of attention right now, though, just because of his posts that he's doing online.
Yep.
Referencing him in the Revival going to
Ricochet,
all Elite Wrestling. So.
Yeah. Ricochet did. I mean, that was the best RKO taken I've ever seen by anybody.
Dude, I'll still say it to this day. One of the best matches I've ever seen, maybe the best match I've ever seen in person, involved Ricochet. It was him and Sami Callihan.
Yeah.
And
Ricochet's fantastic. He's the best high flyer, I think, at this point that WWE has on their roster, don't you think?
Well, I mean, Rey Mysterio ain't flying nowhere with those new knees, so yeah.
Well, no, and his arm's in a sling, so he can't even 619 now.
They're not even new now; they're refurbished.
Well, it's just like you change the oil in your car, change the joints in your knees when you get to be 62.
I'm waiting for the day that Rey Mysterio is just a robot. It's gonna happen.
Rogue don't like Sammy. I don't. To be honest, he does his job. He's a good heel. I don't like him. I wish Tessa Blanchard would have kicked his ass, but that's just me. I don't know.
Sammy's great. He really is great at what he does. That's why that whole Solomon Crow episode in NXT didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've seen him first in CZW.
Yeah.
And then when he did that whole Solomon Crow and they just did nothing with it, and then he was just kind of like, all right, bye, see ya. Like, he was there for like a couple months, and all of a sudden he was just like, I'm out, like, screw this is stupid. And yeah, now he's blowing up. I mean, he's probably one of the best heels in the industry at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Heck of a nice guy too, puts on great shows in Iowa. We're gonna have to go one time.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that. Which shows does he put on the ones in Des Moines?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the promotion or that he puts it under, but yeah, he does shows out in Des Moines.
I think my nephew was when he was talking to us the other day. I think that's the one that he was going to.
Okay. Yeah, he puts some really good shows on. Yeah, he brings some good talent into the area for him. So yeah, it's worth checking out. Definitely.
So, but yeah, so we're just talking about good heels, and Sami Callihan is one. If you don't like him, it's good. He is a fantastic heel. Who do you think? I mean, as you say, he's one of the top. Who do you think the top? Let's just say your top 5 heels right now.
Top 5 heels right now?
Oh, top 3, just even top 3.
All right. Well, I think Sami Callihan. I think, yeah, would be on that list. I don't know who's going to be 1, 2, or 3, but he would be on the list.
Okay.
I mean, MJF is just.
Yeah.
I mean, that he's like right up there too. Maybe even edges out Sami Callihan, because I mean, the guy's just as good as can be on a microphone, can make you feel like crap. Yeah, Jericho. I mean,
it's hard. It's hard because see, we're in a time now where there are very few pure heels. You know, you got Jericho. Kind of, he is a heel, but he's maybe not. Moxley's the same way. Is he a heel? Is he not? The same thing with Pac. Pac, I think, is going to be a heel against. And we talked about this before, against everybody, and I think it works for him.
Yeah, Pac's always just going to be that guy. That's his spiel. So, I think if Seth Rollins went heel, like, I think people would be way more into him again.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
I can't watch him anymore. Like I'm just really just like over it. Like more Seth Rollins. Like, I just don't get it either. What are these random matches? He had a match with the Mexican kid 2 weeks ago. This last week he had this
Rowan
count anywhere match with Rowan. Why?
Yeah.
Like why? I don't. And all this just to lead up to this Crown Jewel match. With the Fiend. I don't know. I'm over.
And well, here's the thing about him fighting the Fiend. The Fiend isn't even. I mean, even if he beats him, loses him, doesn't make a dang bit of difference. Because guess what? They're not even on the same show.
Right. Exactly.
So it's unfortunately. I mean, it's meaningless.
But that's another thing I say about these shows they usually do in Saudi Arabia. None of them usually do much for actual storyline advancement with the current product. Like it's usually, like I said, just a big one-off show where they can just do these dream type scenario matches or just these bigger than life matches, like the Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman thing where they're really hard trying to recreate Tyson, Austin, Mayweather, Big Show.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Well, there's.
By the way, none of those were that great, anyways. Best one was Butterbean and what's his name? Butterbean
and Knockout.
When they did what was it? What was that thing called? Tough
Bart Gunn.
Was it Ruffin?
It was. What was it? I can't. I remember because I watched some of it, and
like Pound for something.
It wasn't. It was.
Basically, you just put boxing gloves on the wrestlers and let them go to town, and it was great.
Shayna Baszler is a good heel.
And how is Shayna Baszler not on the main roster yet?
I don't think she's gonna go. Do you?
I think she needs to go eventually, especially if Rousey comes back, and it's sounding like she is.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you bring them together? Why wouldn't you? Thanks for saying Barry Corbin. I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna
really into him.
I was gonna mention Baron Corbin, and I see that's the thing is like I love the fact that people boo him. He is at the point where he is that sleazy kind of heel, that kind of weasel or sleazel, as I a sleazel. But it's just fascinating to me how he's come along and people just hated it, but they stuck with him and they let him stay. It is a sleazy, everybody hates him, like really hates him. And I think people have come to appreciate it. And I love the fact that he brawl for all. There it is. Yep. Yeah. Brawl for all.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my God. Great. Butterbean. Yeah. The prize winner gets to get their ass knocked out by Butterbean.
That was rough. That was so rough. He would like the real time Rock'em Sock'em robot guy when his head pops up. Like,
oh God, yeah,
bad dude. Like that should have never been able to happen. Like they should have never let that
happen. But now was that in the time when they were still doing tough man contests?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, around the country, yeah, like tough man was a thing they were going on, which that was absolutely frightening and horrific. Did you ever go to one of those? Yes, I went to tons of them. When they would do them like every year here in town, I would go. And
there was
5 years they did it. I always knew someone that was in it. And then it was weird because when it died off is when like the MMA show started picking up.
Yeah. Well, because there's a certain element of people that wanted to see people actually fighting. And the MMA kind of assisted them in doing that in a way where people wouldn't be killed because they had no business being in a ring or on a mat or wherever they held their tough man contests.
Yeah, those tough man contests were bad though. Like, I mean, those dudes were just getting and walking into the ring and just getting knocked out.
Oh yeah, there's a old comic that. His name's Bob Larson. He lives now somewhere between Duluth and Minneapolis, but he was a total tough man contest badass, and he would go and fight in those things and then go and do a comedy show at night. And he rode around the country on a motorcycle because as the feature act, they expected him to pick up the headliner, and he said, I ain't picking him up unless they want to ride on the back of my motorcycle. And so he'd get shit about that, but then he'd always be like, what do you want to do? Fight me over it? And of course,
there had to be one comic, though, that was like, yeah, that's cool. Come get me on your motorcycle.
Yeah, I'm sure there was, and I'm sure he hated it.
You know what I mean? Like, and at that point, you got to make it weird for that guy.
Well, it's all, you know,
like a little too tight on the ride home.
Don't squeeze me there, Sonny.
Should get a car.
Ooh. But anyway,
good old, yeah, those things were great.
Oh my God, I used to. Oh, I don't even want to think about it. I thought about doing it.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm stupid. I thought better of it.
You're a big guy. You'd be hard to knock down.
Here's something that you don't know, and that I'll put out here to the world.
You're a ninja?
I am not a ninja. I am a big guy, but I have a glass chin. I think. My mother,
I think,
had an old. Well, I've never been hit by a human being, but my mother had an old English sheepdog that lifted its head up once, hit me right in a good spot, and I fell on my ass and like couldn't get up. And this was when I was actually young, probably around 30, and couldn't get up. Goddamn dog knocked me out on the kitchen floor. So I'm glad that I didn't go into MMA or tough man contests. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the opportunity to do this fantastic show here today.
Dude, that dog's got a great record, though. Want to know? Did he?
But he won.
Did he go out on top?
The little bastard won with a headbutt. Illegal headbutt. Yeah, undefeated. I don't think anybody else ever tried to take him on. I don't think, to be fair, I don't think he knew he was in a fight. I think he just wanted a treat. And then it could have been named Fluffer Bean. Actually, here's the saddest part of the whole thing, Stinky. The dog's name was Mandy. It was a female dog named Mandy that knocked me the hell out. Not for long, though. Let's be honest. I'm not a puss. I was only knocked out for a little. Shut up! Don't look at me that way, Ace.
The dog only knocked me out for a short amount.
I wasn't a full 10 count.
That's all right, though.
But it was
knocked out in weirder ways.
Oh my God. I haven't. I mean, that's the goofiest way I've ever. That's the only time I've ever been literally. I don't want to say, because I wasn't knocked out. I wasn't unconscious. I just was like in shock. So there's a difference between being knocked out to where you're out, and then you can also be knocked sort of silly. Yeah. Anyway, why are we talking about this? I guess because I brought it up, right?
Well, Barton was knocked out for real, so
that's true. All right,
man.
So let's roll back a little bit. I gotta be honest with you. SmackDown. Only thing I can remember was that 3-man tag.
Okay, so I didn't watch SmackDown yet, and I have recently discovered I've been recording it, so I will actually get to watch it back.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I didn't realize I recorded them, so there's that. It's just interesting because I haven't really been watching them, but I've been reading about it and just reading about how like it's not going as planned, and obviously a sense of freaking out going on behind WWE. It sounds like over this because they were really not happy with that under a mil when the show on FSN because of the World Series, because they came in like 7th or 8th that night.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it wasn't like it was a hard to find thing. Like people actively chose that many things over that. So yeah, that's rough, man. That's rough.
Well, now from a strictly business standpoint, my opinion is this: the ratings that have been reported for the last week, NXT is down, AEW is down, SmackDown is down. Of course, they're on that doesn't count, like you said, because they had to show but they're still down. I don't think Raw was up. I think Raw is down. I think when it comes out, it'll be down too. I think the biggest problem right now is that there's no real breakout. I must watch this. That's universal. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that love AEW love it. They must watch it. I'm one of those people. Because I like to watch that. I never know what's going to happen. I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea. I know some people don't like what they flippity flip, don't follow the rules, loose with all that. Some people don't like it. I get it. That's fine. But so what I think is happening is that there are these little niches now in wrestling that are being fulfilled. And I think what happens in that case is just like it's a political race. I think what happens is that these niche programs, and I say it only in terms of, not that I'm denigrating any of them, your AEW, your Impact, your NWA, and all of the other smaller promotions that are doing programs are taking away, they're shaving off some of those people that are not happy with what's on WWE programming. And that's just a function, I think, of the free market. If let's face it, if you don't like what Coke is bringing, and you only have another Coke, well, maybe you'll try an orange, and you'll say, "Oh, orange is much more." I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. I think that's what's happening business-wise.
I hear you. It was just a really bad night for them, though, because I think they say they average like just over $2 million for SmackDown regularly right now.
Yeah.
So for that to be 888,000, it was like, what?
Well, okay, but let's be fair. Let's be fair. Not everybody has FS1.
No, and that's very true too. But again, when they fell short to so many other shows, like it wasn't just like they were third on the list, fourth on the list. I mean, there was like good 7 things that beat them out that night.
Dateline, NBC, they probably missed out too.
You know what I mean? Like it was, and they'll see what they can do. But they were hoping that was going to be an A show.
Well, they've still got time.
And that's just it for all of them. It's early.
Yeah.
You have so much time to develop. And I mean, it's, hey, we're getting close to January. That's where like WWE gets exciting. It's the road to WrestleMania. So honestly, you just got to weigh through whatever they're doing right now. And some of it's good, some of it's bad. The best thing, again, I didn't watch SmackDown, but the clip that I saw that I just kept giggling. Dude, my man Brock Lesnar slammed Cain Velasquez on to Dominic.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Well, did you see him? Did you see him F5 Mysterio into the wall?
Yeah, it was great.
That whole segment was awesome.
I love that he just terrorizes these people. It's amazing.
And I got to tell you, we've talked about this before. I've always been a Brock Lesnar guy.
Yeah, like it's just great though, because it's just like I'm bringing this guy to beat you up because what you did to my son. So what's he do? He uses that guy as a weapon against your son. Like that's amazing.
The other part that's funny about the whole thing though is that it's so I don't some of the little tiny little things that strike me and make me laugh. It's like, okay, well, yeah, my son is here with me and he's back and he's getting better. But yeah, let's leave him in the back while we go out to the ring and try to talk shit about Brock Lesnar. Oh, well, imagine that. Brock found your son and beat the shit out of him.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
I loved it. I loved it.
Great. I mean, it's still like I could replay that first, like the initial segment where he like beats up Ray in the ring and then like takes Dominic out of the crowd.
Oh, that's
because that's what I'm talking about. Like that had such an old school heel where it's just no F's given. I'm a heel. You don't like me. I don't like you. I'm gonna do what I want. Oh, you like this guy? Well, guess what? I'm gonna beat his teenage son. Which, by the way, the kid's got to be what, like 22, 23.
Oh, I would think so. But he looks young. He looks a lot younger, doesn't he?
I mean, he's got to be the same age as the other Mexican kid they're pushing right now. So why can't they push him? At least he's got the legacy.
Because the other kid can't take a F5 like that guy. Holy cow! It looks just like he's getting the crap kicked out of him, and it's great.
That's going to be the match now. Watch down the line. Like all this leads to Dominic Mysterio versus whatever the other guy's name is.
Brock and Humberto.
Battle it out of the Latino guys. You know what I mean? Like that's what's going to happen.
Maybe they'll bring back La Parka.
Oh, I hope they do.
He was my favorite.
Dance.
Out of that, my favorite.
Actually, sad though. Like, did you hear he just got seriously injured?
Yeah.
In the last week or two, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. I didn't see the details. I saw everybody posting.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it sounded like he came down onto his neck or something like that. So I guess
never good.
Up pretty good. So
never good.
You ever see the video where he punched the dude in the crowd?
No.
Argo, I don't remember what the show was, but he broke his neck. Yeah. Ouch. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Some show in Mexico though, where I can't remember if the guy tried to take his mask off or something. Parker just boom punches him. It's hilarious.
So now correct me if I'm wrong. So that means DDP broke his neck? No, see what I'm saying? Because remember when DDP came out as La Parka? Maybe you don't. Maybe you were.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
No, I didn't.
It's funny to me.
No, I like it. I just didn't watch Nitro, so okay.
Shut up.
I was a WWE guy back in the day.
But did you just sniff its butt the whole time? You weren't open-minded?
I was when the NWO started happening, but as it started getting just really mixed up, that's when I kind of stopped watching. Right when Paige was really getting when that stuff was going on. Yeah. I do remember seeing that, and that was a cool moment. Who was the other one though? Didn't Malenko do the same thing?
Malenko was he wasn't La Parka, but he was somebody else.
Was he Juventud?
Yeah. I can't remember if it was Juventud or if it was I can't remember who it was, but yeah, I remember Malenko was in a mask. And wasn't it against Jericho?
Yeah, it was Jericho or Guerrero, one of the two.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah. That's a beautiful
foggy.
Beautiful thing about the mask though. Well, now speaking of old school, like we just were. We've advertised about talking about, and I think we're going to try to do this once every show. Do a little bit of an old school review, and
do you want to do this now, or do you want to wait until the
No, wait till when?
I feel like there's we should touch a little bit on AEW.
Oh shoot, we forgot about that already. See, I'm just looking at the clock,
and I feel like we should quickly touch on the Bob Lashley Lana Rusev situation.
Yeah, you're correct.
When Rusev dropped shit in the middle of the ring like he did, I feel like that wasn't planned, but either way, it made for great end in the Raw.
You want to talk about Bob Lashley first?
I love Bob Lashley. You'll get the damn Bob Lashley.
I'm surprised that they haven't announced that this match will take place at Crown Jewel.
Is it? Is that on the card?
I don't think it is.
Good. I hope it's not. I mean, save it for Survivor Series.
I think there's still more to.
Well, they wouldn't do it because you got to have Lana there for it.
Oh, that's right. You have to have Lana in a cage.
She's not. Well, even that. She's not ringside. It would be weird that the biggest part of this love triangle isn't at ringside. So no, but it was just great when she's like, Bob.
Oh no, you froze off.
Bob Lashley's a damn liar.
My favorite line of the whole thing was. My favorite line of the whole thing was, Rusev, all he wants me for is sex. And Rusev goes, "Can you blame me?" I thought that was a great line.
Oh, he got a legitimate pop.
Oh yeah,
a second. It was hilarious.
Haven't used the shark cage. Last shark cage was
Enzo.
Was it who?
Was it Enzo?
No, it wasn't Enzo. It was the other dude. The Weasley-looking character, which I guess is still Enzo. You know who was the guy?
Yeah, Paul Ellering.
No, I didn't think it was Paul Ellering. Was it?
Yeah, I think he was in one of the AOP match.
He was?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. I was thinking the one where Asuka lost to whoever the heck it was that beat her when she had the, and then they went into the ruining the Asuka mode, and she lost. Was it? I can't. It's good. No, I'll find it. In anyway, it doesn't make any difference. But yeah, I mean, when they started with this whole, yeah, that might be. I don't know.
Jared really won at one point too with Owens.
Yeah,
but
doesn't.
Oh yeah.
That's who I'm talking about. That's
James Ellsworth.
Gosh, Rogue, you're awesome.
Which, by the way, Rogue and Stinky, I believe, are both my friends from the Jericho cruise. So
awesome.
James Ellering was on that Jericho cruise, just creeping people out. Well, he was good at it though.
Well, yeah, because he's kind of Weasley looking.
He really doesn't have a chin. It's weird.
Well, that's like.
I don't know.
You can have surgery to like stick a chin in there, and he could use one of mine for God's sake.
Such a weird. Just that him being in WWE was just weird. Yeah. It was a weird thing they did there.
Yeah. Well, okay. Anyway, we see it's easy to get sidetracked.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Dynamite, and then we'll talk about our retro show.
We got to talk. Let's just move to AEW real quick though. When they started with Lashley and Lana, I just was like, oh, not having any of this. But now I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get into it now.
Rusev's selling the whole thing for me.
Oh, yeah. It's all him.
Like
and to be fair, Lana did fantastic on the mic last night, too.
I'll tell you what, though, that takes a lot to go ahead with that storyline where they were like making out.
Oh, my
God. On top of it.
How does that work?
I hope he gets a pretty paycheck.
No.
That's just great.
Maybe
it would have been better if, like, while they were doing that the whole time, he was just like crying and being like, "Bob, stop! Please, Bob, no more, Bob."
Hopefully, he was under his breath doing that.
Leave her alone, Bob.
All right, let's.
Until next week, Bob Lashley.
All right, let's move over to AEW because we haven't talked about that barely at all. Gosh, I mean, it's just so hard. Again, it's hard for me to remember them all. What do we have happen? Was that the Pac and that was Pac. The main event was Pac and Moxley going to the time limit. Yes. No. Was that last week?
The week before. This is where we had Jericho in the suite.
Oh, that's right. Popcorn and bubbly.
So the end.
That's right. That's the reason I put it on the little thumbnail.
Yeah, because the end was then the Young Bucks and was it Best Friends?
Yeah.
It was a lot. It is a lot watching everything and trying to keep track of everything. But I like that. I did enjoy the that he's got his the shirt with the ticket now.
Oh yeah,
when he was in the crowd, like, I have a ticket. Of course, after their fight, like they actually made the shirt. Like they literally are just making shirts off of everything Chris Jericho says, which is amazing because that's been his career, and it's not getting any slower for him as far as that.
Oh my gosh,
tagline, yes.
I mean, they got to be making so much money off of those shirts. You know, I mean, I haven't even bought the ones I want from them yet.
Go to Hot Topic. I think they have them now. But
I'm not going to Hot Topic. You can pay the premium. I'll get them from the Pro Wrestling Tees, for God's sakes. What do you think? I'm a savage? You think I look like the kind of guy that would go into Hot Topic? You think they would let me into Hot Topic?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. They'll take anybody they can get.
No, I don't think they will.
Right. Yeah. Literally everything he says is just an instant t-shirt. It's amazing.
Well, let's be honest. After this show, I'm going to have a shirt that says "My dog knocked me out." So
yeah, probably,
and it'll be a top seller for us. Yeah, t-shirt company. Yeah, I love being the elite. How they, it's a gigantic. I just love that whole thing, and this being the elite, or it was merch freak. I loved it. Loved it. Anyway, back to the show.
So like DDP coming out got a huge pop.
Yeah, and I mean, I was really shocked that they did that with him. Because it wasn't in it wasn't in DDP territory, really, I guess.
Yeah, he's just he's a Rhodes boy though. I mean,
I mean, I get that part, and he's been with Cody the whole time, but to have him actually come out, it's a nice surprise. Let's say that. And that's the thing I like about AEW right now, is that there are so many little surprises that they can throw in. And that's why I love to watch it, because you literally never know what they're going to do. I feel it's very hard to,
yeah.
David Arquette is my friend, please. I just always think that it's you never know what's going to happen.
No, you don't. I mean, Private Party versus Lucha Bros was just one of those ones where it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to see some crazy stuff. SCU and the Dark Order. I pulled up the match cards just so we can actually
thank you.
Go through it real quick, because there was good stuff that we should give it its props. So Omega and Joey Janela.
Yeah, and I like that because Joey Janela wasn't just hopping on stuff to get bloody.
Right. And then you had the Cody speaks to. I like that. I wish he would have just came out and just acknowledged that they were in the press box. I don't know why they tried to be like, I'm going to cut a promo in the middle of the ring, even though he's sitting up there. Like, whatever. It was still a great segment. I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch him go in the crowd and do all that. One of these days, though, when MJF finally does the turn on Cody, like, people are going to lose their minds.
Oh, my God, yes.
Lose their minds. Then again, Best Friends and Young Bucks finished the night. Again, I said this, I think, last week, and I'm going to say it again. I really like how AEW is balancing their big roster they have. So that's a problem for WWE. That's problem, balancing out their roster. So, AEW, everybody's still a fairly big name. They're just not on every week.
Yeah.
Or have a major role on the show that week. They might just have like a minute segment. But then next week they'll have a match or an actual promo or something.
Yeah.
But you don't feel like they're any different than most of the other people on the show, where WWE, it's like, okay, well, here's your top guys. They get the more time. This is what's happening. I mean, you get that still with AEW, but it's not. I don't know. Like, you remember in the Attitude Era where like every story-line you were into?
It meant something. Everything.
Into Austin and McMahon.
There was no filler.
What was going on in that whole show? Everything was hot.
Yeah.
And that's what AEW feels like for me. So that's why, I really like how they can do that now. They're working that out right now, because WWE could take a note from them, because, AEW Dark is definitely worth the watch. I mean, it's just, they're pumping out just a great product.
Oh my gosh. I got to tell you. So on Tuesdays, my ritual is I come home, I turn on the TV, I watch NWA Power, because, man, that old school is right down my street. And then I watch AEW Dark, which is honestly, I mean, it's almost on par with the TNT show. I mean, it really is. The matches are just as good. And the only thing I would say is that there aren't quite the storylines with Dark. But I think if you were to go to the show and watch it live, and you get to see those extra matches at the end, I don't think you give a shit.
No, because really they're just matches to show what these people can do in the ring. So then when they come on and have a storyline, no one's like, who is this?
Right.
Who is it? Like people, the fans are gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, they're awesome. I love watching them wrestle. So this will be cool to see them involved now, whatever. Like just a really good place to see them. I mean, the Joey Janela Omega match, that was an AEW Dark match that ended up going live again on Dynamite.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, it's just a good platform. It's really like Stinky said, some of the matches lately are you can't miss them. You got to watch them. So it's,
yeah. Now, having said that, I got only one complaint, and that one complaint with AEW is I still kind of don't get Dark Order. I don't understand why they got the minions. I'd like to know. It's not because they're supposed to be heels, right? They're supposed to be whereas like with Jurassic Express, I don't care why the guy's in a Luchasaurus outfit. I don't care, because it's fun. It's not he's not trying to be the villain. He's not trying to we're gonna and so that's why I have a hard time getting on board with Dark Express, because they're heels and they're creepy only because they tell me they are. They haven't done anything to anybody. I mean, they haven't. The Lucha Brothers have done more to other tag teams than Dark Order has. Dark Order hasn't done anything. They did one thing, right? And they tried to do one thing, and then Orange Cassidy saved the Best Friends.
Yeah, I think they were like Super Smash Bros back in the day.
Yeah.
Like they were like a bigger deal back then, and then they kind of got quiet, and now they came back. I think too, with the tag tournament that they're doing to crown the tag champions, you're not going to see any development on like backstories for any of the teams.
Yeah.
I think once this tournament's done and you see actual feuds start lining up, like I don't like you don't like me, we're gonna whatever, and you start seeing how the storylines go, I think that's where we'll start seeing more backstory into who the teams or who the talents are, stuff like that. But
see, spooky perverts think he knows where I'm talking about. He knows where I'm talking about.
But yeah, again, AEW is killing it. Yeah.
And again, we said that we were talking about this last week. There are certain people in AEW that are just getting over that I didn't even expect. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect Riho to be as hugely over as she is. We talked about this last week. I didn't expect the referee Aubrey Edwards is over huge. She's in all the top matches now. She's a referee. She does a great job. We talk about Orange Cassidy's over even when he barely shows up. Even when the little kid in the audience portrays him, he's over. And there are a ton of them that and I love it. In I would say that probably 95% of the people that they've got that they're bringing in there are just knocking it out of the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's really good. It is good stuff. All right, so we said we would do this. This will be a quicker version of it, 'cause I think we thought we were going to have more time for it, but
yeah, well,
we couldn't not talk about the Bob Lashley and a little bit.
I agree.
So we figured to just change some stuff up. We'd talk about a show that you and I would agree to watch, an old show from the vault.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily WWE, but it just started with a show on the network. And then we're just going to give thoughts on it. This one was WrestleMania 26, right?
Yes, sir.
Arizona. Now, for me, this was a special WrestleMania because this was the very first WrestleMania I ever attended live.
Oh, so you watched the whole thing live?
This was literally the first time. And it was a pretty breathtaking moment to walk into a.
No, you can't do it. Don't do it to me, Spectrum. You're sputtering there, buddy.
Can you
oh,
see
there
that?
you go. Okay, yeah. You're fine.
it's a pretty interesting thing to go to Mania for the first time, and when you like first get in the atmosphere and the stage and the set, it's pretty mind blowing. If you're a wrestling fan, like for me, it was like always a dream to go. So I don't know where you were when this one happened.
Probably in my basement.
2010.
Yeah,
we were doing radio at that time, I believe.
I was actually, that was during my period of actually, I was only doing comedy then.
So this was post our working at the radio station together.
I believe so. Yes.
Dang. Wow. Okay. My mindset on that was messed up.
Wait a minute. No. It was 26 in 2010. Yeah. In 2010, I was still in Rochester, but I was trying to get the hell out. Anyway, this is personal.
Yeah. Now we're getting, I mean, for some reason, I thought when I went to my first Mania, like it was, either way, I thought we were like I thought we were still at the station together. I didn't realize that you were already almost gone at that point. So anyways, that's again, just the stuff that me and him know, but it was I felt like it was a pretty good Mania. So like, did you watch the whole thing or just certain matches?
So here's what I did. I did not watch the entire WrestleMania because I knew we were going to talk about this match specifically. What I did do though was I watched the Batista Cena match before it because I wanted to see what the feeling was, what the atmosphere was to get to that point. The streak versus the career match was the main event that closed out the show, and I wanted to see how the momentum was going into that. For me, the Cena and Batista match, in hindsight, was a fantastic match to put in front of it because it ended up with most people happy and Cena winning the title.
Mm-hmm.
And then to go ahead, I don't want to hop in on anything that you got figured out.
No. So, and this isn't in the particular order, I don't believe, but the matches that were on the card were the Unified Tag Team Champions. Remember the Unified Tag Team Champions?
Oh, yes.
Big Show and Miz versus John Morrison and R-Truth. How about that for a pairing?
R-Truth still blocked me, but
R-Truth.
So his, for those stinky rogue, you guys don't know this. Ace has one name that he doesn't like mentioned on here, and that's Honky Tonk Man.
I'll mention it. It's just that's where my
and then he says, "Fuck that guy." I have been blocked by R-Truth. I don't have the hatred for R-Truth that Ace does for Honky Tonk Man, but R-Truth has blocked me for some reason on Twitter. I don't know what it is, and I certainly can't figure it out because now he won't even talk to me anymore. He never talked to me before.
But on a bright side, though, I don't think any of our posts for this week's show have gotten pulled down by WWE.
I think yeah. So for the last 2 weeks, we've been pulled down because of, and we're happy now. Let's go on. Let's move on.
So you had that match, and Big Show and Miz won that match. They had their Money in the Bank ladder match, which I want to say this was the last one they did at a Mania. I think they stopped doing them at Manias after. Maybe they did it at 27. Definitely not in 28 though. Who cares? I was in it. Jack Swagger won. That's all that matters. Triple threat match. This was probably a good match that I thought was really high up there as far as how good it was. Was Orton versus Rhodes versus Ted DiBiase.
Oh wow!
He had their triple threat. Triple H versus Sheamus, which Sheamus was the newcomer at that time. Now here's another match that was. I don't know. I mean, I know what it looks like on TV because I obviously rewatched this many, many times. But being there that night, like it went from awful to the point where it was just like, can this just be done now? And that was the Bret the Hitman Hart versus Vince McMahon match.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember this match where like it was when Bret came back since the screw job and him and Michaels had their little hugging session. And then him and Vince like end up having that feud. He has the match at 26. The whole thing is Stu Hart was inducted in the Hall of Fame that year. So the whole family was there. So like Bret Hart comes out and like McMahon comes out and like
that froze up again. Is that the one where Stu Hart ends up?
There we go.
punch. Is that the one where Stu Hart ends up punching McMahon?
No, because Stu Hart was gone at this point.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was in. But no, so like Vince McMahon comes out and basically says he bought the whole family. So all of the Hart family comes out with McMahon, and they're gonna like, beat like one of the brothers was. I think Bruce Hart was referee, and like he was like gonna pay them all off to screw Bret again. And then it turns out like Bret gets the microphone. He's like, "Oh, we're Canadian. We screw you," and they all just beat up Vince McMahon. Like literally, it was like a 15-minute match of just Vince McMahon. It was like a gang beating of an old man. Like it was just literally like 15 people pounding on some like 70-year-old man in a ring who is bleeding everywhere, had zero offense in this entire match. Zero offense. Literally, this whole thing was just to squash Vince so Bret could look good after the screw job, which again, with screw job, because who knows how much of, there's so many stories now that it was real, it was fix, it was whatever. Oh, it was so awful. And during this whole time, like, because when that happened for real, Bret Hart and the screw job and all that, the business part behind that whole thing made 100% sense as far as where, if that's what really happened, that was the right call. As a business move and a business owner, it was the right call.
Yeah.
You'd be like, dude, you're leaving me to go to another company, but you're going to tell me how you're going to lose my title? And you're leaving me? All right, let's see how this plays out, buddy. You know what I mean? So it was just, and I mean, obviously Bret Hart was never happy after he left. He wasn't happy at the end of his run here or at WWE, and he wasn't happy in WCW.
I don't know that he's happy now.
His hips definitely aren't happy, but you know who's happy though? The dude in the Rasta hat from the Hall of Fame. He got him. He did.
I know he did.
Got him. He had a goal and he accomplished it. So kudos to that guy. It was just, this whole thing was dumb. I didn't want it on the WrestleMania card at all, and I was very sad. We were like some of the only people around us that were cheering for Vince McMahon when his music came out, like booed Bret Hart.
Come on, Vince, you got a chance.
Yeah, it was bad. And then you had this is when Edge came back too from an injury, I think like Achilles or something, and beat Jericho for the heavyweight championship. He came back at that Royal Rumble as a surprise. Like you said, Batista versus Cena, where Cena won, right?
Yes.
And then that's when Batista quit, like the next week or two on Raw. He's like in a wheelchair in the middle of the ring, like, I quit.
Yeah.
Where he was like whiny.
It was a good match, though.
And then, the main event of this whole thing was Undertaker Michaels Part 2. And this was hair versus streak. Man, I'm kidding. It was actually a hair match.
Hair versus hair.
Like every Taker match back in the day should just been a hair match.
Yeah.
Like after like the first 10 Manias, they should have just been streak versus hair or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you lose. But
my God.
Yeah, it was. Tell you what, that was the first time I seen Taker live in a building. That was
good.
That was cool.
So tell me, what was it like to see the entrance for that after because you were there, right? And on television, it seemed like the excitement for Cena winning was really, really high.
I honestly do not remember.
Okay.
I wasn't really into that match.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I think we knew that the next match was it.
Yeah.
So, and I was not a big Cena fan at that time. Was not a big Batista fan at that time.
Gotcha.
So I think that might have been like a pee break and maybe like one last beer for me. So I was
gotcha.
Probably spent most of that match in the concourse before the Taker Michael came out. So, I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, it's a big stadium, a lot of kids. I mean, there was like 3 kids right next to us that were just like Cena, and we're into it. Like it was still. Because that was 26. So the next year he had the thing with The Miz while The Rock was there. And then 28 was him and Rock. So I'd say 27, 28 is where you started to see that decline in his thing, where it was more of the let's go Cena sucks chance. Yeah. Where at that Mania at 26, I think it was still fairly over.
Okay. So let me ask you this too now. Since you were there, did you have a preconceived idea of how this match was going to end? Do you recall?
I mean, the only thing I knew going into the match is that Michaels was losing.
Okay.
You just knew. I mean, I think everybody that was in Phoenix that week you knew, because he was just at that point, and he didn't beat him the year before. It'd be really weird that he beats him now when you just knew he was at the end of the career. You knew he didn't have much left in him. Obviously, he's come back for a match, and it was probably something he could, and that kind of ruins this Mania for me too. Now that he came back for that crap match at one of those Saudi Arabia shows. Like, dude should have just stayed, or if you're gonna do it, come back to one of the big shows. Come back and do a Mania match. But all I knew is he was gonna lose. You knew it was gonna be a good match. To be honest, it still seems like this match got shadowed out. I think the one the year before was still the more epic match. I think this one just had more motion behind it because at the end it was Michaels losing and his career ending.
Now, another question for you. Knowing that it was going to be his last, did it? Were you more emotionally invested when he came out? Like, were you like for his entrance for the old?
Oh yeah, it was definitely in my head that it's like you're not going to see him walk to the ring for a match again like this, unless he's a dick like Ric Flair.
Yeah, well,
he wasn't for the most part.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at him for coming back for that match. I respect that he waited so long when he could have come back way sooner.
Yeah,
it definitely still makes this Mania still have some sort of sense to it because I mean, he didn't come back career rides. He came back for just that match, whatever. Where, walking out, and it was talk. I mean, everybody in the crowd talking like, "Oh my gosh, guys, here it is." I mean, even before going into the stadium, people were just. We met people that were before we went into the stadium. They were already talking about the next night at Raw and how it's going to be pretty emotional watching him, give his thank you speech because I mean he's not winning, like he's going to retire, like that's what's happening. Because the other thing too is it's like he did it to Flair.
Yeah,
he's not going to break the streak too.
Yeah,
I mean he retired Flair. He's not going to break the streak as well.
Yeah,
he knew it wasn't going to happen. So. Yeah, it was. I mean, I wasn't like sitting there crying or anything, but it was like super like. But I mean, some people were. I mean, dude, when Taker's streak got beaten, we were in that stadium for that. Like, people legit were crying. That was sight. That was crazy. But it was definitely sad. I mean, it was. Because that was, I mean, Mr. WrestleMania. I mean, Shawn Michaels is one of the greatest of all time. I mean, one can never say that's not true, even if. He wasn't the best guy to be around in their earlier years. What he was doing on the shows and in the ring was amazing. So, and there's just so many big moments that he was involved in.
Oh gosh, yeah,
so many. Kane's debut, the Iron Man, like the first like real legit Iron Man match in WWE at a WrestleMania with Brett. You know what I mean? Like Mike Tyson. Two Royal Rumbles? Didn't he win, or did he win one?
I don't recall.
He definitely won one, and he was the number one entrant. Like he went yard on it.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about the match a little. One of the things that I recalled watching it again was how tremendously Undertaker sold the whole story. The whole story about the tweaking his knee when he came off of the old school on the ropes, because they did that very, very early compared to other matches that he's been in. And that was just, to me, the fact that he sold that the entire match all the way until the end, all the way until he left the ring. And had he not done that, he certainly wouldn't have made that story. I don't feel like. I mean, that made that match a lot better, because when you look at the size difference, even given the match before or the year before, you still think, holy cow, Undertaker's just going to beat the crap out of him. But I loved that it was give and take. I loved that there were what you call and I'll go back. Oops, sorry. I'll go back too and say that the little package that they had prior to, which I know that you were there. They don't. Do they show those packages on screen?
Yeah, they play.
I thought it was a great package to get people fired up over it. It got me fired up to see it. But it was like you had your greatest hits. You had tremendous false finishes. I loved the what was it? He hit him in the triangle, and then Michaels flipped over him, which was very similar to the way that people get out of Samoa Joe's Coquina Clutch and flip over and pin him. I don't recall seeing that. I as much as I'd love to say these are matches I would love to go back and watch again and again and again. There's just so many good matches that it's hard to do. And so I'm very happy that you picked this one out, because to be honest, I remember it, but I don't remember it being this good.
Well, and again, it gets overshadowed by the year before.
The
year before, that was like match of the year. To this day, some people say that was the best one Undertaker had. To this day, it's some of the one, people say it's the best Michaels had. And again, when people talk about their match, that first one is the one that gets referenced all the time before the actual one where he loses and retires. They were both really good matches. And I think, they were, it's always hard when you have to live up to a match beforehand. You know what I mean? And especially when it had a clean finish, like when Triple H did it where, Taker won, but he didn't walk out.
Right.
So they had to do it again. You know what I mean? Where Taker beat Michaels. And just that whole angle of like he couldn't deal with it. He knew where he made his mistake. I got to have one more. I'll put my career up. And as soon as that happened, it's like, oh, okay, we know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
So it was, again, though, it was just technically the match the year before gets the praise. And I think it was probably better because it was the first time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Always better the first time.
Yeah.
Look at Once in a Lifetime. I still pretend it was only once in a lifetime. I don't acknowledge what happened after Once in a Lifetime. But luckily I wasn't even there anyways that night. So I was in a hospital in Newark. Stupid. That's all.
Yeah, there we go. We're back. So another one of the highlights too, I thought was fantastic, was the business on the announce table. That honestly, if you're going out, it's like, holy crap, why you really want to go out with some spectacular stuff.
Yeah, because that's the one where he his Michael's midsection hit it hard, didn't he?
Oh God, yeah. I thought
in half.
He hit. It's almost like he didn't get far enough. And I just can't imagine having to try to be that specific over your head like that. But that looked like it hurt like crazy to me. And then I never did pick up where Undertaker cut himself. He was bleeding on his arm. And all of a sudden I noticed it, and it was just his arm. So something happened outside.
I feel like he's a bleeder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like he always ends up with a bleeding elbow or a little gash on his arm where he's always bleeding. You know what I mean? He always accidentally is bleeding on his arm somewhere. That's a thing for him. It's weird.
Same kind of thing I do with toes. Every once in a while, my toes just bleed. So I'm like the Undertaker of feet.
Yeah, sure. That's the same thing, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Well, go ahead. Just you're always
sounds like
you're always just
doctor.
I try to come up with something good, and then you're always just like, whatever.
Oh, I thought your toes were really bleeding.
Well, no. If they were really bleeding, I'd stick them up to the camera so people could see it. What do you think? I'm like,
well, you sold that well.
I'm not some bullshit artist,
I can't read the face. That's the problem.
Well, there you go. There's a reason for that.
The math worked. You know what? It was a really good match. That was a really great Mania. Just random highlights of that Mania for me was it was very comical by how they tried to have the roof open and then realized that the sun blinded half of the stadium, so they had to shut it, and it takes 20 minutes to shut it. So for the first couple matches, like, you can see the crowd one side is just getting nailed with the sun. Luckily, it was not my side where we were sitting, so that was good because we were on TV side. But they were getting nailed with the sun. But yeah, other than that, like, that was a cool Mania. There was like the cool moment for that for me wasn't even, in there. It was the after party, meeting the people I met, because that was where I met some of the guys from the Living the Dream team, which I have no idea if you're familiar with that. And if for any of you are familiar with that, we've somehow crossed paths on probably at a Mania. But it's like a group of guys who they all used to go from all over the world. Basically, when we met them, it was just a bunch of them were from like the UK. Met them at 26, saw them at 27, 28 was the epic party bus with that whole group, where we met Mr. Adam Daly, former guest of the show. So, yeah, that was just a cool deal. But what was really cool is we went to, because right there is the arena across, and it's like this like mall shoppy complex, like out there. So there's like bars everywhere. So we were at the bar, and it was like a country bar, and they had the Mechanical Bull. And some dude dressed as Macho Man, which, by the way, the guys that we were hanging out with, who I became friends with, that are the Living the Dream team, were all in cosplay too. Like, they were Macho Man, Bret Hart, and they were doing, like, we almost got kicked out because they had to come over and be like, "Can you guys stop?" They were like doing the matches.
Oh my God.
Bret Hart was putting people in sharpshooters. Like, Jericho, the guy dressed as Jericho, was just like doing stuff. Like, someone was a ref, so he just kept counting. But like, the best though is there was another Macho Man and a Hogan there, I believe, if I remember correctly. The guy dressed as Macho is riding the bull, the Mechanical Bull. They set this up, and good on them for this, because it was just classic. Because as a wrestling fan, when you see it happen, you're like, "Oh, that's amazing." Where the employees of the bar were like, "What the hell?" So like, Macho Man guy's riding the Mechanical Bull for like 10 seconds, and the Hogan guy jumps the rail with a chair and like hits dude sells it. They start going at it, and like, you just see security just,
oh my God,
we're just messing around, and they're like, "Get out." Like, it was so funny just watching this bar, these employees at this bar, like these bouncers, waitresses, bartenders, just losing their minds because they've never had to deal with a giant crowd of wrestling fans.
Oh my God.
This is what happens. You go to a WrestleMania and you walk through any of the tailgating, you have people dressed up, you have people in character, you have people going through tables and stupid crap outside, like doing matches. It's just what happens, man. It's what wrestling fans do. It's a crazy group of people. So it was funny to just see these people working at this bar losing their minds because every time something happened, they like thought it was real, and it was like wrestling fans just putting on just matches that like at the end they're just like, "No, we're fine. It was just an act. We were just." But it was just the timing, how they did it. It was perfect. I was like, we were all clapping outside the bowl, like, "Good job,
beautiful." I love it.
Because like the DJ guy's like on the microphone too, like, "Oh, he's a Macho Man on the bull. See if you can make it all the thing." Oh my God. Like, that dude just hit him out there, and like, everybody's just like, "This is awesome." Oh, it was amazing. So yeah, that was a good show though. That was a good trip. Went to many Manias after because of that show. So yeah, I don't know.
They did their job.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We'll have to pick another show, and if anybody watching has a show that they think we should watch, that's always good too.
Who? I didn't hear you.
I said, if anybody watching,
yeah,
show that we should watch too. That's always we'll take suggestions as well.
Yeah, just Stinky or Rogue have an idea of what we should look, and that's fun to have everybody look.
I mean, I maybe feel like maybe we should do like a Halloween Havoc.
Oh my gosh,
for next week.
Pick a year, baby.
I don't remember the years that happens.
I don't either.
You're in.
Well, no. So here's why I know that they were. You know what? Let's do 1996.
1996 Halloween Havoc.
1996 Halloween Havoc is just it's the year that the NWO came about, and I'm sure that they were involved, and they were my favorite part of WCW. So let's do that. Next week, 1996, Halloween Havoc, and we'll kind of give our thoughts about that. It's fun to watch them back now because, you know, a lot of the moves, the closers, finishers that people use now or back then are just regular spots now, regular holds now, and it's kind of a little bit depressing. But having said that, I think that'll be fun to do. So on Thursday, are you doing a show with Wes?
No.
All right.
No, just watch our we're not doing the live shows anymore. Just schedules weren't working to make that commitment, so we're not going to do it anymore. Hopefully the VSC Nation still puts archive episodes up as we put new episodes out. Just follow our social media, Briscoe and Big A Show, and you'll see whenever we put our next episode out. We haven't he's been busy. He was just in South Africa for a show.
Very cool.
I think he was just in like right after it was in Canada or right before it was in Canada for a show with Hannibal TV wrestling up there. And then 2000, if you want to, yeah, right. Wasn't that like the worst, like one of the worst pay-per-views ever? Halloween Havoc 2000. But yeah, and again, schedules have just been really busy for us, so we're kind of on a little bit of a break right now. We're going to get it back going, and as far as I know, we're still working on trying to get that Jake Hagar interview date settled, so we can, that probably will happen a lot easier now that his Bellator fight's over. So
very cool.
Yeah, man.
Alrighty. Well, we would like to oops. Oh, 1996. Yeah, there you go. Rogue, we appreciate that. You were reading them on the side there. I didn't have them up.
Remember?
I know you just said it. I just said it. Just you know what?
I forgot for the first 10 minutes when you were putting them up. I was like, oh, that's right. I can read them too right here.
Because I like to pop them up because then everybody that's watching can see.
And I hope you keep doing that. It's just
I do too.
Them too.
I appreciate it. And I don't but I want to
the life of a producer.
That's why I got this mask on, because my face would say sometimes, God damn it. No, it wouldn't. I have had more fun doing this with you than just about anybody else that I've ever done a wrestling show with.
Yeah, me too. Except the Briscoe and Big A show. Sorry.
Well, that's a different show. That's an industry show. You're doing an industry show there.
I have to put that show overall. Sorry,
dude. I'm all about putting that show over because I love the fact that you guys do it, and it's not about wrestling. It's talking with wrestlers, but it's not about wrestling, and that to me is very, very cool because it gives you an insight into the people that are actually doing the stuff. Well, lets you know more about the human beings.
And what I'm really excited for is, again, the episodes have been sporadic as of late, but we're hoping to get that going again. And even if it's not, we're always going to do a show. It just may not be like weekly episodes. It might be more bi-weekly, depending how busy schedules are for me and Wes. But as we get closer to Mania, because they did announce next week, Mania tickets go on sale for Tampa. So get your tickets for Tampa, which I feel like would be a good Mania. I think that's a cool little stadium. I think it's going to be a cool little spot for it. I think it'll be a good Mania week. I have no idea if I will be attending WrestleMania, but there's a really good chance that I'll be in Tampa that weekend.
Oh.
I just don't know if I'm going to be at Mania. One of the main reasons I would be down in Tampa, though, is mainly because we keep getting asked why we haven't had Jerry on the show. Pop Briscoe hasn't been on the show yet with me and Wes. So we wanted to maybe do that as like a YouTube exclusive and actually do it over at Jerry's home in Tampa during that week of WrestleMania. So
very cool.
That'll be hopefully something that we get done too. And maybe some extra stuff down there during Mania week. I don't know. Again, I don't know when or how long I'll be there if I go for sure.
Well, it's very cool regardless. You will keep us up to date on not only this page, any number of places where we were tonight, but also on on your Briscoe and Big Ace site and your own personal Facebook site. I, on the other hand, keep as much shit hidden as I can. I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing.
We're gonna have to figure out what to do when I'm on the cruise.
So here's what I'm thinking. So you're on the cruise. What is it Sunday through Wednesday?
I think it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah,
maybe it is Sunday through. I don't know.
So what we may have to do is we may have to record a segment.
No, I don't know.
We're not doing it from the boat.
No, because I can't. There would be no way I can afford that internet.
You'd have to get one of those satellite thingies.
And their internet is complete shit. So,
yeah.
You know what though? Here's a thought.
Okay.
I'm gonna look because maybe we'll be in the Bahamas that day.
Man, if you're in the Bahamas and it's close to the right time, we'll do it, or we can do it whatever time I'm going to be there.
Monday through Friday mornings. So then, so that would mean Tuesday we're in the Bahamas, right, guys? Because we're hitting it right away, Bahamas Tuesday. So maybe we'll just do an early edition. I'll go find some place with Wi-Fi in the Bahamas.
Go over. I'll tell you what. I mean, if you're parked in the Bahamas for yeah, absolutely, that would be fantastic. If you're parked in the Bahamas, you can go over to the Paradise Casino. I'm sure them bastards got Wi-Fi for you. Distillery has Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's why you guys should go over and get him blasted or help him get blasted. Make sure he gets back on the boat because I don't want to, have the last hurrah be from. See, yep, they got you covered here. They got you covered. But we'll do that. We'll do it a little live, a little early.
Well, if we do that, and you guys are exploring too, then maybe you guys come with and you can come on with us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love it.
But yeah, that'll be cool. Do it from there.
Yeah. All right. Well, my friend, we've rattled on, and Stinky and Rogue, thank you guys so much for staying with us the whole time. We appreciate it a whole lot. Anybody else that happened to tune in and hop out, well, you're not here now, so
you're right.
But honestly, we appreciate everybody that gave us a look.
Yeah, that or rewatch it. We do go live Tuesdays at 8 Central.
That's correct. That is correct. Well, we try, and the only thing, Ace has been trying to get me to eat something through this mask, and I just don't want to do it.
Eventually, you will. It'll be.
There's no flexibility.
UB Stinky and Rogue are my friends that have gone to. They went to a few of the AEW shows, and they were at in Chicago, All Out.
Oh,
and had extended a ticket my way, and I could not make it due to a wedding. But I watched it back, and I totally saw Rogue mark out hard for Orange Cassidy. It was hilarious.
No kidding. You'll have to mark the time and tell me. Send it to me so I can look.
Yeah. They you guys had some really good seats. TV side, saw you guys a bunch during that show, so that was really cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, we can always talk more about it. But yeah, it was yeah, you guys were like all over that show.
6. That's awesome.
I know. Now I know not to book like weddings. I'm hoping Double or Nothing in Vegas is a thing again because it's birthday weekend. So I love that you were the only one cheering for Pac. That's great. I'm just a heel guy. I always have been, always will be. I'll always cheer for the guy who's like a grumpy guy. Like, I hate everything. I'm like, I like that guy because I hate everything too.
That's why I was always a Piper guy.
Yes,
always.
Yeah,
from day one. And even back, this will give you guys an idea. Kenny's not a heel though.
I like him.
I love all those guys. But this will give you guys an idea because I don't know if you've watched any of these things. I am old, and I got to watch in Minneapolis a match between Cowboy Bob Orton and Paul Orndorff tagging against Hulk Hogan and Mr. T at the Bloomington Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota, back in about 19. What would that have been? 80 something. And
I don't know. What was Hogan and T on their tour for Mania? sure.
Yeah, it was actually, as I recall, it was before Mania. But that's how old I am. And even older than that, the first wrestling match I ever saw was Baron, the main event. I don't remember all the other stuff. The main event was Baron von Raschke against Haystacks Calhoun in must have been 1968 or 69 at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa. My father and mother would not take me to the wrestling matches. My aunt gave in and decided to do it. My aunt, who never married for whatever reason, but loved the wrestling. So anyway.
I love that your first match was Baron von Raschke.
I
love that guy. Like, to this day, I love that guy.
He's still awesome. He was
old man now too. It's amazing. Like, and he walks around going like, the Claude. It's like, oh, you're just an old guy now. It's awesome.
But he doesn't have the claw anymore. He has Dupuytren's contracture, which is I have that. I can do the claw now with this hand because those fingers fold in.
There you go.
Anyway, you guys, thank you so much again for hanging out with us. Big Ace, this was a lot of fun. Next week we'll look at Halloween Havoc 96 and whatever else happens in this big wide world of wrestling. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Central Time.